I don't know if you guys heard, but Twitter is now no longer going with the bird. We're going with the X. So Twitter is now going to be called X. That's how Elon Musk is going to rebrand this. So this is going to be kind of interesting, guys, because it's not just like a rebrand where he's just changing the name. No, he wants this to be the central hub for all your banking, for all your games, all your chatting, just everything you do online. He basically wants to make this the go-to spot. Um, it's good and bad. We got a lot of good and bad with that. We kind of had the same thing with China with WeChat. So it's going to be interesting to see how this will be formed in the United States because we have obviously we don't have an authoritarian dictator like control over the country. We're trying to lean that way, and that's why this is a little concerning. But it's interesting technology. It's going to benefit a lot of people in a lot of ways too. So we're going to get into it, guys. But first off, before we get into this, make sure we like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate you guys. We're just gradually going to keep making this thing better and just keep bringing you the best podcast I can do for you guys, and hopefully just make sure we're a little bit more aware of what's going on around the world and especially in the United States. But let's get into it, guys. Here we go on ABC News. Elon Musk Twitter rebranded as X. Here's why. And guys, I mean, honestly, I mean, just by that beginning logo right there, that's not bad. It's not bad. I think the one here, I'm going to show you one in a little bit. That's even better. But the signature blue bird perched atop social media platform Twitter vanished on Sunday as part of a company rebrand under a new name, X. The revamp marks the latest change enacted by billionaire owner Elon Musk, who stepped down as CEO last month but retained a prominent role in the company. Promising an AI-fueled expansion of the site's capabilities, X aims to follow the logo change with an ambitious foray into online banking and video messaging, among other areas, CEO Linda Yaccarino said on Sunday. And here we go. Elon Musk tweeted this picture out. I don't even know what they're going to call it no more. They can't call it a tweet. What do you go? Xing? We're not Xing, guys. Okay, there ain't no way that's gonna be a thing. If that turns out to be a thing, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh my ass off because it just doesn't ring. You know what I mean? But we'll figure out what they're gonna do here. But when it comes to the logo, I'm actually kind of digging the logo. I mean, how much can you really do with the letter X? You know what I mean? So I think it's simple but stylish enough to where it's gonna stick. I think that could definitely stick. They may make some tweaks to it. Obviously, this is like an interim logo that he put out here, so this can definitely change relatively quick. It's an exceptionally rare thing in life or in business that you get a second chance to make another big impression, tweeted Yaccarino, who previously worked as an advertising executive at NBC Universal. Twitter made one massive impression and changed the way we communicate, she added. Now X will go further, transforming the global town square. Here's what to know about X, blah, 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 blah. It's just going into all the stuff here. But guys, I mean, it's kind of interesting. Again, there's a lot of question marks, like good and bad question marks. Like, how's this really going to go? I mean, I really have a problem with everything being centralized in one app or one company. Honestly, I think that's the problem with our economy now. Like, it's gone. Capitalism is great, but when you allow monopolies to form, and it's not even monopolies of the same industry, it's just a company that's able to keep buying other smaller companies and just make a huge, just dwarf in this huge conglomerate of a portfolio that just has so much money, they can bypass the consumer. They can bypass, like, a company. Usually a company has to do right by their clients and do right by their consumers. But when a company has so much money and the money isn't just centrally located in one industry, they have such a big portfolio, it expands into other industries. Their overall portfolio can withstand the negative when they're trying to push something that the client doesn't like. And that's the problem. And that's what I'm not liking when it comes to things like X and WeChat in China. And there's a couple other ones. India has one where everything, I mean, to the games you play, the banking, your chat, they're going to have all that data. Every transaction you make is going to go right through there. I got a problem with that, guys. Like, it's not because I'm doing anything illegal. It's just, to what level are we going to just keep giving away our personal freedoms? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want big daddy government having an eye on absolutely everything. Like, what, they can just make up something to have a reason to just go and get that data whenever they want. Especially, I don't know if you remember a video I did about a week or two ago about FedNow, where the Federal Reserve is actually trying to get into the business of like Zelle and Cash App, where it's a one, instant payments and stuff like that, but it's gonna be quicker. It's supposed to be quicker. But the thing that I have a problem with is the Federal Reserve is very tightly intertwined with the federal government. You know how easy it'll be for them to get that data from the Federal Reserve? I'm sorry. Just name a natural disaster or a pandemic or some sort of emergency, and bam, they got any information that they need. And if FedNow gets adopted by all these major banks and then gets adopted by X or aka, Twitter, and they start doing banking and they do all this stuff, everything is going to be at the fingertips of the federal government at any time. There's no security for the consumer, and that's my problem. Like, guys, if we allow that, like, if that really does happen, I'm not saying X is getting intertwined with FedNow, but I'm just saying if this keeps growing down this path, and if FedNow becomes so big and so popular with a lot of banks, a lot of big companies are going to hop right on because it's convenient. It's easy. But again, your data is going to be at the fingertips of the federal government no matter what. No matter what now. Like Eric Snowden being exiled for the NSA documents is going to be like child's play. Like, why do we even care anymore? Like, why? Like, it almost is like a slap in the face that he went through the exile that he had to go through to let the people know, because nobody knew this was happening. And now it's just like, oh, well, I mean, of course they're doing this. Like, of course they're selling our data. Like, this wasn't even known, and this guy's being punished for it. It's absolutely insane, guys. So we got to be aware of what's going on with this. And I got a little video clip here too. And it's about Elon Musk, just a little overlap, just a little history. I mean, he's been wanting to do this for a while, right? Do I trust Elon Musk? I trust him more than 50%. No more than 60, 65. I don't trust nobody really fully, like, at all. So, do I think he'll do right? Yeah. But when this becomes a public company again and it's back on the stock market and you have stockholders to pay attention to and all this, he won't be in control as much as he is right now. So that's my issue. But this is going to be a good little overlap here. It's only 2 minutes, guys. So, just to give you a little insight into what's going on here. All right.
This morning, he says no more birds, Sarah. It's all part of his larger ambitions to create an everything app that combines messaging, social networks, and payments. That's the focus of today's Tech Check with our Deirdre Bosa. Deirdre?
Frank, this is something that Elon Musk has envisioned since 1999 when he founded X.com. And it was then that he laid out his vision for a one-stop everything store for all financial needs. In the following decades, however, Asian companies and users, they have beat him to the punch. The best and most popular example is Tencent's WeChat. Now, it began in 2011 as a simple messaging and photo sharing app. From there, it moved into payments, games, shopping, even a place to book your doctor's appointments. Ultimately, it notched 1.3 billion monthly users who had very little reason to ever leave this app. It became an ecosystem in and of itself, and that's what companies here have been trying to replicate. From there, the possibilities, monetization, data collection, they expand. Network effects, switching costs, those lock in users, sellers, and advertisers. A walled garden is created where the app's algorithm personalizes and is able to cross-sell to each user. Elsewhere in Asia, super apps, they've taken off as well. You've got South Korea's Kakao. It's used by more than 90% of all smartphone users in the country. There's Line in Japan, Grab in Southeast Asia, Paytm in India, which leads, of course, to the question why we haven't had one of these in America, despite ambitions from the likes of not just Elon Musk, but Mark Zuckerberg and other tech leaders. A big reason is that our internet and payment systems have evolved very differently. The U.S. legacy credit and debit card infrastructure has actually slowed fintech adoption here, and the absence of that in Asia cleared the way for mobile systems like WeChat Pay and Alipay, also, which is a largely free system. Many Asian internet companies that were also built after the mobile shift. So, guys, they were mobile native and they built within existing apps. Many of our internet companies, they were built on PCs and then created more narrow mobile versions. So it also leads to the question, can Elon Musk be successful here? It's night and day between what led to super apps, and there's a reason why they work in Asia and they don't work here.
I mean, guys, to be real, I mean, it's just so, it's a little weird, right? I mean, the only countries that really have this to a level that is where everybody uses it and it works so efficiently and looks so great, these are authoritarian dictator run countries. Like the Chinese, like, okay, they got the Communist Party. It's not a dictator, but I'm sorry. The Communist Party is a like a, I don't even know how to describe it, but the Chinese Communist Party is like just a group of a central one way of thinking government entity that is completely, it runs everything. You need a Communist Party member, a Chinese Communist Party member, to run any type of big business in China. They put a not a cabinet member, I guess that there'd be too many cabinet members, but they put somebody that is there for the Communist Party, that reports back to the Communist Party on everything when you're a company. So that, to me, guys, is just not something that I ever want when it comes to our government. And I feel like that's where they're leaning towards, because these politicians that we're electing, because we don't care anymore, we aren't paying attention anymore, they are only caring about their own personal interests, and they are going to sell out the country for power. So they will never not have power, and they'll never worry about sinking to the bottom of society. It's very selfish ways of thinking. I want everyone to win, but I'm not willing to sacrifice someone else's success to bring someone up to an average way. Like, no. We can all become average. Okay. Do we want to be above average? You got to put in the work for that. But man, I'm telling you guys, when it comes to this, everything is centralized. Absolutely everything is centralized now. They're really trying to push everything in one spot, instantly, just happening. I don't know about you guys, but that is not comforting to me. Like, I can handle my own business. I can go and do stuff. Make it easier. Okay, great. But my data, my information, my transaction history is not to be given to the federal government unless I'm doing something so criminal, like to where you have to get a warrant out. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only time like that should ever be accessible to the government. But I don't know, guys. I mean, it's just me, I guess. But I mean, I know it's not just me. There's a lot of people that think the same way I do. But we got to be louder. Like, life's been so good for so long. Like, we got to have regular, average Americans on both sides of the aisle. We can come meet together. Like, that's why I do these videos. There's a lot of things where we can come together on. And we just got to do that, guys. We just got to do it. So put a comment down. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really appreciate you guys. And I have a great time doing this. So I hope you have a happy Monday. Have a great start to your week. And I'll see you on the next video.